So what does it do?
You go like this. You're going to take this, you're going to pull this down. Right there, you put the pin back in. Okay? Then all you got to do, this has a clicker here, it isn't on right now. Hear the motor running?
Yeah.
All I do is I push this in.
So hey guys, apologize for a little bit of the background noise here. It's a little bit noisier here than at our place. We're up at my grandma's house. We came up here for the weekend, and on the way up here, stopped over at my uncle's house. He's a guy that's been running a tree cutting service business since as long as I've been around, and with a tree cutting service, of course, you're getting a lot of firewood within that process. I would just wish he lived closer so we could get our hands on a bunch of those wood chips here. But with that, he showed me one of these cool projects that him and a buddy had been working on. He picked up this basically like a silage bin or a chop bin, old farm equipment piece, and they did a little bit of a modification to this thing. So I admit this was a really cool project, a little do-it-yourself thing, and it seems like it's kind of always a project in motion, trying different ideas. So, like I mentioned, they got this bin here. I think he mentioned a couple $100 at an auction. They took it, got sandblasted, painted, and a lot of the infrastructure was already there. The gear system, the belt system to make everything move. But it did originally run off a PTO of a tractor. He didn't want to tie up his tractor. I sent to go hook it up to the PTO to just drive this thing just a little bit to pull wood forward. So what they ended up doing is they mounted a 2 horsepower motor into it. The one thing that they did end up running into problems with is this thing holds about 3 cords of wood, and that's a lot of weight. In order to get that motor to go from a dead stop to be able to start pulling all this wood forward, a lot of times they'd have to kind of help that motor, and once it got into motion, things would get going. So they came in and they rigged up this sort of belt tension pulley system, very similar to what you see on a tiller. So the motor's already in motion, and then you have something that pushes pressure onto this pulley onto the belt system, which then engages, so it allows it to already have the momentum going, and then it starts pushing that wood forward.
This one was one of the better designs because it has it, see, once the power takeoff is, it isn't always going.
Do you know what brand this was, by chance?
No. But they're all basically the same thing.
So the way he uses this is he backs this thing right on up to his wood boiler. He's got one of those outdoor wood boilers that sits outside, and that all heats his house, one through an air exchanger, and then they also have some in-floor heat in their house. So all the mess and everything's outside, and he just backs this thing up and just enough space where he can stand in there, grab the wood, throw it into the wood stove, and then when he starts to have to reach a little bit, he just engages this system. So, you know, they just flip the switch on that motor, so it's not like he's got to go drive in the tractor, or jump in the tractor, look back, figure out where it is, stop it. It's all right there at the tip of his finger. The other thing you'll notice is they rigged up this sort of hinge roof system, which I thought was kind of a cool idea. There's got a pulley that sits on a shaft that then swivels up and then can swivel back down. So if he wants to go drive through town, he's got to get under a low bridge or something like that. He doesn't have any problems with that. And then he just flips it up into place, lifts that roof up, and then he takes his tractor and the front end loader on his tractor and just starts dumping the wood into this thing. So he goes, fills it up. Very little actual hands-on. If he's going to get tired on, it's probably usually his hands or his fingers or something, you know, just running the controls. So he loads this thing up. We're doing the math, you know, this thing holds about 3 cords of wood, so quite a bit of wood. So he can pull it up and feed his stove for quite a bit of time. Then of course that roof then comes back down and then protects everything from the rain and the snow during the winter. So
okay, so instead of when it hinges hitting on here, because of this up here, it goes
kind of a cool idea. I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sure there's some of you guys that are probably take some of these ideas, run with it, or maybe even come and build something very similar if it seems like a good fit. Obviously, you got to be a little bit set up. You got to have some of the heavier equipment like the tractor to be able to load things up, but can definitely make things pretty easy on having basically a portable woodshed with a roof and all. So neat little idea. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.